Hi, everybody. I'm Debbie Belaus. I'm the owner of Qigong with Debbie. I am a yoga, Qigong, Tai Chi meditation teacher. Most of my students are over the age of 55, and we have different bodies after the age of 55. And I have found that these practices, these Eastern practices, are wonderful for this age group or for somebody who's coming off an illness, an accident, because they're very soft and healing practices of not just the body, but the mind and the spirit. So it's a complete holistic practice. I've been teaching my past few videos on Tai Chi, and instead of calling it Tai Chi, I call it the flow because it's a feeling, a state, a feeling of softness and ease, freedom of movement. When you're in the flow, I think we all know what that feeling's like. When you're in the flow, everything seems to work smoothly in our life. But to get to the flow, we need to release a lot of the compression and that tightness and that gripping in our body where we hold everything in. It's hard to open up the flow again when you're too tight. And a lot of us hold our tension in different areas of our body, and that prevents ease of movement. And as we age, we just keep adding on and adding on more layers of that congestion. So the practice, especially the Qigong practice, is about movements that release that stagnation, opens up that energy flow, gets that tightness out of the body so the body can flow. It's kind of like a hose in your garden where if it's knotted up, you're not going to get the water to come through. Same thing with our body. So to get to the flow state, to get to that Tai Chi state of feeling, which is considered the supreme state to be in the Tai Chi flow, because the body heals on that level. We have to release that stagnation. So that's where the Qigong comes in. Now, the Tai Chi classical Tai Chi can be a little confusing to learn. It's a little detailed. Well, it's a lot detailed in different forms. And that's part of the practice is learning that. But it could also create a lot of frustration and then people don't do it. And I find it so beneficial for everybody to learn how to do. And it's easy to learn how to do. It just takes a little bit of practice of this idea of coming into the flow state. What happens when you come into the flow state with that ease of movement, you also go into a meditation state. You go into a mindfulness state of feeling. So that becomes a meditation in motion where you're just focusing on the slow movements. You're focusing on the feeling of the movements moving through you, that energy moving through you. It's kind of like a soft breeze coming through. You're pushing that soft breeze to go from side to side or up and down. That's the flow. And once you get into that flow, it's that wave feeling. It's a very moving in and moving out and moving to the side and moving to the other side. It becomes this ease and freedom of movement. And when we do that, the body isn't in pain anymore. It could function at its optimal level. It's relaxing to the system. It takes down that all that inflammation that we get from tightness and stress. And then we feel that flow. That's that flow state. So today I just want to show you the beginning steps of that flow state. We'll do a little bit of Qigong to break up a little congestion. And we're going to start, there's one part that's really beneficial to learn from the beginning, and that's called standing on a boat. And I'll explain a little bit more, because once you get that down, then it becomes easier to do those flow type of movements. So let's get started. So we're going to go right into a little bit of shaking. I talk about this all the time because shaking, it helps to release some of that stagnation that I was talking about. Really easy stuff. You're just kind of shaking, getting the cobwebs out, getting that tightness out of the body, releasing some toxins also. This is really good for you if you suffer from joint pain, through arthritis. It helps to, it's called shaking the 9 gates, and we are opening up the gates of our joints, which are your ankles, your knees, your hips, your wrists, your elbows, your shoulders, and your neck. Those are main areas in the body that holds a lot of congestion. That's where a lot of people feel a lot of inflammation too, or in their joints. And these are the main 9 major joints in the body. So it's also bringing circulation to the body. You're getting your heart rate up a little bit. Again, it's simple. You know, you don't have to bounce if you don't want to, if that hurts too much. If you're in a chair, then just simply move the arms, get those shoulders going. You can also stomp your feet if you're sitting, all those kinds of things. All this can be done also sitting. So if you're recovering from something, if you don't have a lot of range of motion or movement, do a little bit. A little goes a long way. And this is one thing that you can do. So we're also going to use a little bit of a purge breath. We're going to inhale through the nose, exhale out through the mouth like you're blowing out a candle. This will also get a little bit more oxygen in your body. It will release that carbon dioxide out of the body. It also releases toxins. So we're cleaning out, we're releasing stagnation that I was talking about, getting the knots out of the hose first. And then you can bring the arms out to the side, you can move them around. Breathe, inhale through the nose, exhale out through the mouth for this particular one. Now, when we come into the flow, the breath is typically just done in and out through the nose, but that's for another video. But for now, we're just letting go here, releasing, getting rid of the cobwebs. It's your circulatory system starting to start to happen. Respiratory system's getting turned on. We're pumping our calf muscles here, which helps with your lymphatic fluids to release through your lymph nodes. So again, lots of benefits for this silly little movement of shaking. It's also called rebounding, and they've done a lot of study on rebounding and how it also helps with bone density. And then stop. Hopefully you feel some kind of activation. So we're activating our body. Let's rub our hands briskly together. We're going to do a little bit of tapping. So tapping, again, many benefits. Helps to circulate the body, helps to stimulate the body. It also stimulates bone density again. So we're going to start with the head, just kind of tapping around the head, getting some circulation to the brain. You're going to tap around your eyes, getting some circulation for the eyes. You're tapping the jaw, move the jaw around. This is a big area of tightness for most people. We're going to tap on the ears. We're going to tap on the back of the occiput bone, that hard bone at the end of your skull. Tap right down the neck to the top of the shoulders. Again, you can do this sitting. You know, do the sitting. Come to the center of your sternum. This is your thymus gland, part of your immune system. Again, this is all for your immune system, bone density, circulation, stimulation, activation. We're going to tap right down the inside of the arm. So again, I have a lot of videos on this stuff. This activation. This is all part of the Qigong practice. We're going to tap up the arm, back of the shoulder. We're going to tap around the breast tissue. Now, there's many different ways of tapping, many different routines, but this is my go-to. Tapping under the armpit. We're also opening up some energy lines in the system as well. We're cleaning out our energy system. We're going to tap down the side of the rib cage. You can continue with that purging breath, inhaling through the nose and exhaling out through the mouth if you like. We're going to tap here again. We're just getting ourselves ready to open up a flow down the inside of the arm, on the outside of the arm, back of the shoulder blade, around the breast tissue, underneath the armpit, down the side of the rib cage. And then we're going to tap this whole trunk of your body. So you're activating all your organs, getting them going, getting circulation to those organs, releasing the stagnation, congestion, toxins. We're working our lymph nodes. We have so many lymph nodes, 500 to 1,000 lymph nodes. We're going to tap around this whole region of the belly, side of the hips. You should feel some vibration with this. You're going to tap your glutes. We're going to rub our kidneys, and we're going to jump up and down 10 times on the heels. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Down the backs of your legs. We're going to come up on the inside of the legs. So these are meridian lines. You don't need to know about them. This is just to get circulation going down the side of the legs, up the front of the legs. And then we tap and slap the groin, lymph nodes, tons of them, getting that lymphatic fluids moving, helping with your releasing of toxins. And then tap all around the stomach, large intestine, small intestine. You have your liver here in this region. You have your gallbladder here in this region. Large intestine, small intestine, stomach. And tap, 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 stop. Do you feel some stimulation, activation in your body? Notice how you feel. If you just did those two things, that would be like fabulous if you did this every day, several times during the day. And then let's just bring some arms up, a little bit of stretching, and then release the arms down. We'll do this again, inhaling. Let's sigh it out. Get that heavy load off of you. Release, inhaling again, and a sigh out. Now we're going to come into a flow. Hopefully you can release, let's just wiggle it out a little bit too. I like to wiggle, 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 and then rock from side to side like a bamboo in the wind, just moving from side to side, again, releasing some of that congestion. And we're going to come to the fundamental movement of opening up a flow. So you might have seen Tai Chi before, you know, it's a lot of hand movement, it's a lot of moving of the legs, but if you're not purposely moving the whole body in a flow, it's going to be hard to get into that flow movement. In other words, if we're stiff in the arms and we're not moving the legs and we're just doing movements with the arms, and you're just not going to get the whole body. You want the whole body flowing from the toes to your fingertips. That's where you want to feel the flow. So it's called standing on a boat. And we're just going to rock forward on the ball mounts of the feet. You're not taking your toes up. You're not taking your heels up. Shift into your heels. Just first start there. Move forward on the ball mounts of the feet. You shift into the heels. So this is called standing on a boat. You're just rocking forward and back. Keep the knees a little soft. You don't want everything tight. Remember, we want to flow. We want that energy and all the fluids to move. So we don't want to lock anything. So you're just moving forward on the ball mounts. You're shifting into the heels. This is called standing on a boat. If you've ever been on a boat, it rocks. And you can feel that rocking. And rocking is very soothing to the body also, which is another benefit to the Tai Chi flows. So we're just coming forward on the ball mounts of the feet, feeling the weight shifting, feeling the weight back. I particularly like doing this without shoes, without socks, because you don't want to slip. Sometimes shoes can be too tight and rigid. Sometimes you don't feel the movement with the sneakers, so try it without sneakers or a shoe. If you're limited and you have to wear them, then, you know, just kind of wear a softer shoe if you can, not something too rigid. So again, I'm just standing forward and back on my feet. As you can see, I'm rocking forward and back on my feet. Now by doing that, we're going to add a little bit more. So now we're just using the feet. So the feet start the movement of a flow. The waist is going to direct the flow, and the arms express the flow. So in other words, I'm standing on the boat, starting with my feet moving forward and back. Now the next time that I come forward on the ball mounts of the feet, I'm going to arch my back a little bit. So that's the waist. I'm going to shift into the heels. I'm going to tuck my tailbone under. That's the waist. I'm coming forward on the ball mounts of the feet. I'm arching my back. That's the waist moving. I'm shifting into my heels. I'm tucking my tailbone under. That's the weight. So now we have feet and the waist. Feet and the waist. Feet coming forward on the ball mounts of the feet. Arch your back a little bit. That's your waist. Shift into the heels. Tuck that tailbone under. That's the waist. So it's feet and waist. Shift into the heels. Feet and waist. Feet and waist. So you can see the action is in my feet. The direction of the movement is in my waist. And then we're going to come to the arms. The arms express the movement. So this is all you have to do, standing on a boat, getting that idea of moving forward on the ball mounts of the feet, the waist, shifting into the heels, the feet, and the waist. Now I can exaggerate this even more and get more of a back bend into it, shift into the heels, tuck my tailbone under. There's a little bit of a forward full flexion in my spine. Now I'm going to add the arms. So remember, it's the feet, the waist, and the arms. So here we go. Feet, ball mounts of the feet, waist. Now the arms. Shift into the heels, tuck in the tailbone, which is your waist, and then the arms. Shift forward on the ball mounts, the waist, and the arms. Shift back into the heels, tuck the tailbone under, which is your waist, and then the arms express it. It's feet, waist, arms. Shift into the heels, feet, waist, arms. So it's kind of a rolling. I'm rolling forward. I'm rolling back. I'm rolling forward and I'm rolling back. So it's a roll. So everything is flowing. Everything is moving from the feet, the waist, and the arms. 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 Rolling up, rolling down, rolling forward, feet, waist, and arms, rolling back. Feet, waist, arms, shift into the heels, feet, waist, arms. Standing on a boat, shifting back. And you can repeat yourself, feet, waist, and arms. Shift into the heels, the feet, the waist, the arms. Feet, waist, and arms. Shift back, feet, waist, and arms. Now, if this is all you did for 5 minutes, you will have circulated your entire system. And then if you slow it down to a 4-second tempo, now you start creating a mindfulness of the movement, and it will quiet down your whole entire system, the nervous system especially. So I'm going to add the tempo now. So it's inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Rolling forward on the ball mats of the feet, waist, and arms. Shift back into the heels, tuck the tailbone under, feet, waist, and arms. Rolling forward on the ball mounts. Shift into the heels. Inhale, ball mounts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Shift into the heels. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, shift forward. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, shift back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, it's feet, waist, and arms. So there's a little bit of a back bend here, as you can see. Shift back, tuck the tailbone under, waist, and arms. Now I'm going to exaggerate this movement a little bit more so you can see it. So I'm coming forward on the ball mounts, my waist and my arms. There's a little bit of a back bend here. Then I shift into my heels, I tuck my tailbone under, and then the arms come down. Shift forward on the ball mounts, lift the waist up, a little bit of an arch in the back, the arms come up. Shift back into the heels, tuck the tailbone under, the arms come down. So now you've got a back flexion and also a forward flexion with the spine. So it's feet, waist, and arms. Shift back, feet, waist, and arms. So this is the first movement that you really want to get. And then count your 4-second tempo as your. So in other words, if I'm doing this too fast, you're not going to get that mindfulness into it. So it's all about taming down the mind, slowing down the tempo to slow everything down so the body can be mindful, the brain can be mindful. You slow down that nervous system, you quiet it all down, which releases inflammation, what helps you to focus. Counting the tempo is very helpful to keep that monkey mind from wandering it off, and that's the reason. The mindfulness of the movement to a point where you don't even realize you're moving because the energy is moving it for you. Everything is light and soft and very, very comfortable. There's a freedom of movement in the feet, in the ankles, in the knees, in the hips, and you're flowing and you're going to glow. So find the flow to glow. Find that ease of movement, nothing difficult, nothing hard to understand, but the body. Let the body get very familiar with the movement and also the tempo, the softening. The body's moving from the toes all the way to your fingers. There's a lightness of being in your body. There's no striving. It's effortless. Simple and effortless. Getting that flow going from your toes to your fingers. Rolling back, rolling forward. Rolling back, rolling forward. And then you can start adding some other movements. So now we can bring the arms out to the side. Same idea. Feet, waist, and arms. Coming forward, feet, waist, and arms. Shift back, feet, waist, and arms. Coming forward, feet, waist, and arms. Rolling back, feet, waist, and arms. Maybe cross the arms overhead, feet, waist, and arms. Shift back, feet, waist, and arms. Coming forward, feet, waist, and arms. Shifting back, feet, waist, and arms. This is called separating clouds to reveal the sun. Feet, waist, and arms. Shift back, feet, waist, and arms. So you're kind of getting that flow. Again, you don't need to do a lot of movements. Just stay with one that you like. The biggest thing is getting the body familiar with the rolling forward on the ball mounts of the feet, the waist, and the arms, and then shifting back in the heels, the waist, and the arms. Try not to go past your shoulders. Notice if you can relax the hands instead of doing it stiffly. Can you feel the movement lifting you up? And then can you feel the movement bringing you back down into the earth? So we lift up towards the sky. We shift back into the earth. We lift up towards the sky. We shift back into the earth. The earth's supporting you. The earth lets you not float away. It grounds you. So now you're connecting to the earth element, the earth below your feet. Feeling maybe the wind, soft breeze from the movement of your arms moving through you, cooling you down, slowing you down, but you're still moving. Even slowly creates a mindfulness and an ease. Quiet down the nervous system. Slow down your heart rate. Just standing on a boat, rocking forward and back. Simple, quiet, peaceful, calming. And once you get this principle, then you can move on to other flow movements. And then settle. Maybe close or soften your eyes for a moment, just noticing how you're feeling. Did it switch anything in you? Do you feel a little bit more or less constricted in your body? Even if it's a little bit goes a long way. Try this practice at least once a day. Maybe do a little bit of that activation. Come into a very simple movement. But remember, I'm not just using my arms. I'm not getting a flow here if I'm not moving my legs. But I will get something when I'm shifting forward and back on my feet and the waist and the arms. It becomes a fuller movement. A fuller movement. And then you slow it down. You breathe through it. No stress, no strain, just a complete effortlessness and lightness of being. I hope that helped. Give it a go, see what you think. It's the beginning stages of learning the Tai Chi flow. Thank you for watching me. And if you liked what I did, subscribe to my channel. I try to get something out at least once a week. Be well, everyone. Thank you.